Drug Dealer Simulator 2. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the developer. What turns a person into a drug dealer? A drug dealer into a drug lord? Find out in Drugs. A first-person co-op sim set in a dynamic open world. Make contacts, cook drugs, and manage your cartel on Isla Sombrero, where power is the only law. Now guys, before a few of you cry your little eyes out that I'm doing a game that is somehow unethical, I'm assuming the only game you play is a farming simulator on a phone where you plant turnips, because pretty much every other game is unethical. You murder people, you take over countries in other games, you shoot everybody in sight, steal their cars. Games are unethical, so calm down, it's fine. It's just a game. First up guys, this is not an early access game. It should be, because it's not finished, I can tell you that for now. But it isn't an early access game, it's full on release, which is quite astounding. Because there is quite a few bugs in this, and there's some half-assed programming. I'll get to all that shortly. But what's it about? Well, essentially, you start off as just a runner. You take the drugs and you deliver it to the people who need it, running around the streets, sorting out the little bags, and they will give you the money. Now, you get to keep that because you bought the shit in the first place off the other guy who's above you. So he sells you his shit, you take his shit, and you go and do the dirty work, the dangerous work, where you could get clobbered off rival cartels or nicked off plod. Although, let's be fair, they'll all be on Twitter looking for real criminals. As you start raking in the cash, and you will rake in the cash, it is a bit grindy getting the cash, but man, you start really making a good mint with it. You can then start and move up the ladder, so to speak. You impress the bosses, and they will put somebody to work with you in your first little island of this rather large map. Now this means that you can assign them to that first little island, so they do all the running around. You just supply them with the drugs at a drop-off place, and they'll supply you with the cash. They'll take their cut, of course, but they will do all the hard running donkey work for you, and the money starts coming in. But this is just grass. You're just doing marijuana. As you get more money, you can start buying the tools and unlocking the recipes for stuff like amphetamines, then crystal meth, and all the rest of these horrible, horrible drugs that nobody should ever take, ever. The harder the drug, the more the money, the better the things you can buy. You start buying properties around the map, setting up distribution networks around the map, to buy cars and boats. You start living the lifestyle, guys, of a drug lord. And that's the object of the game, and I haven't got that far yet. I'm only up to amphetamines at the minute, but I did buy myself a shit old little yellow car to get myself around the island. You can also use bus tickets and use the bus stops. You can use little ferries to get across the water. There's lots of ways you can travel around this map, and you need to be able to travel around it quite quickly. You can arm yourself. You start off with a crowbar, which is what I've got, and I don't know where it goes from there because the game is so grindy and deep, but the grind it's not a bad grind. I mean, I streamed it for 3.5 hours last night. I enjoyed every minute of it, and I was just running around delivering bags, making the drug. It's fun. I mean, it is fun making. It's exciting when you make a new drug and you have to put all the chemicals together, make your laboratory. It's not just a case of lol, press a button, there you've got a drug. You have to go and buy all the bits of equipment that you need from various stores. They may be out of stock. You may have to come back later, and you have to avoid enemy patrols as well and police. Then you get all the stuff back, buy your furniture, set up your little kind of chemical stuff with pressure cookers and fermentation things and grow boxes and stuff, drying out the leaves, doing the chemical reactions to create the amphetamines, guys. And then when you get the drug, the final drug, and you start bagging it up into little gram bags and then running out onto the streets and selling it or giving it to one of your runners to do it, it's great. There's also raids. Now I haven't come to the raids yet. I'm not far enough in to get my den raided. I have got a secure bunker, which you'll probably find hard to raid, but some of the houses that I've bought are just so easy to raid. And I read a top tip that if you get a backpack and fill it with all your money and your drugs and hang it on the back of the door, while you're doing other stuff, and then if a raid comes, you just literally grab that bag and run like f***, because they'll come and murder you and steal everything. And it is a brutal game in that sense, because if you're out and about and you get done and they take everything, that could knock you back an hour easily in this game. So you have to watch what you're doing. When it is quite scary when you're running around with a few £100,000 worth of drugs on you, because you know that if you f*** up, it's gone, and it took you a while to make all that. But you have to carry that amount on you when you're going around and you're delivering it to your pushers, because you hide it in little areas around the map that you've designated where you're going to put them. So you'll be dropping off huge quantities of drugs for them to pick up and distribute. So it does get quite tense, this game. Unfortunately, guys, there's so much wrong with it. Co-op's bugged to shit, although apparently there's a patch coming out next week that's going to fix that. I haven't tried it yet, but this is a fully cooperative game. But from what I've read, it's in a mess, the co-op. The combat's woeful, absolutely woeful. You were just like spamming your crowbar at people, and there's no sense of any kind of weight or impact when you're doing it. It's just garbage. One of the worst combat systems I've ever seen in a game. The NPCs as well are just not really there. You can go up to them with a crowbar, start smacking them, and they just, don't mind me, I'm not here. It's just bollocks. It's just lazy and shit. When you're selling the drugs, you go up to someone who's ordered some drugs and you say, oh yeah, you want 2 of these, 2 grams of marijuana, there you go. They'll like give you a little wave and then they vanish. They just turn into a bunch of leaves. It's like, I'm the fucking one hallucinating and you're the fucker taking the drug. It's lazy as anything, guys. It ruins the immersion. It's honestly, it's going to put it puts me off playing the game, because you've got all these things set in place where you've got a really good network going, where you spread around the island, making your money, selling your drugs, creating the drugs. The simulation of creating the drugs is great. I mean, I don't know how accurate it is because I don't do drugs, but it does feel like you are actually making a drug, and it's very satisfying to do it, only to find that when you come out into the world, that the world's just fake as fuck. It's a game breaker in so many ways, but I keep coming back to it because I just love the satisfaction that I get from dealing. If you like, Mac, this video is gonna. It's just a huge shame that they've gone to all this trouble to make a really good base simulator game, and then they've just kind of bolted on this bullshit. I mean, the graphics, it's half-assed. You've got houses where they've just, that'll do, just put that there. But the windows is underground. Oh, fuck it, just leave it. And there's your car parked, half of it's underground. Well, just fuck it. Who cares? Well, I fucking care. Because when I'm playing a game, I don't want to see that shit. This could have been way better than what... Honestly, this game could have been absolutely fantastic, because it has a core gameplay element that is so fun. Ruined by lazy bullshit. Well, it might not be lazy. Maybe they're just incapable. I don't know. I don't know whether it's laziness or whether they're just incapable of actually doing. But they're asking 20 quid for the game, and it's I honestly, for the bullshit, I'm tempted to thumb it down, but I'd be disingenuous if I did, because I'm enjoying the game. It could have been an 8 easily, but hey ho, fuck off.